If I see one more product homepage that says AI powered with zero explanation of what that actually does for the buyer, I'm just gonna scream into my microphone. The problem is not that AI products are bad. The problem is that all the PMMs are nodding along with the terms that they don't even fully understand. AI agents, MCP, agentic workflows, AI this, AI that, and then messaging that sounds like everyone else is writing the same thing. So today we are decoding it. There's so many things changing in the AI world. Our scope of work as PMMs is also increasing or changing. But yeah, a lot of things are happening in the background, but I don't want to gatekeep all of the information that I'm learning. So what I have decided is I'll just learn along. But yeah, coming back to the question, there's a lot changing. There's a lot of confusion. There's a lot of noise out there. Here's what is actually happening right now. AI vendors are moving from AI assisted to AI native. And that sounds like a very small shift, but it is actually not. When a product is AI assisted, a human is still in the loop. It's still doing the thing. But the AI helps. When a product is AI native, AI is the thing. The entire workflow is built around it, rebuilt around it, in fact. And that distinction is going to matter enormously when you're writing positioning. So, because your buyers, even if they don't name it, they still feel it. Nobody's talking about right now. For a while, we've been calling things like AI powered when they are really just autocomplete with a better interface. That's AI washing and it's everywhere. Truly, if you Google AI powered seamless solutions, you'll find hundreds, approximately millions of identical homepages. It is a genre now. Buyers are getting smarter. They are starting to ask questions. Okay, but which AI? Doing what? And with whose data? So if your messaging doesn't answer that, you are gonna be losing way more deals than you can ever imagine. Because talking about AI, okay, you have jumped the bandwagon, you are into the hype, but then what? So what is something that we all as product marketers have to figure out. It's high time. Okay, so first of all, let's decode these terms. 3 of them. You can actually just go Google these terms and get away with it, but these are the actual terms that are coming up. They're coming in almost every meeting that a PMM is involved and not involved. And I think I just need to address it. Just need to get it out of my system so that it's out there and I can have a peaceful life with it. So term 1 is AI agents, as you already know. And here's the simplest way I know to explain this. Old AI, you ask it a question, it answers. AI agents, you give it a goal, it figures out the steps, executes them, and then tells you what happened. It's not answering, it's doing the work. And for PMMs, this changes your messaging from here's a feature to here's a workflow your team never has to touch again. That's a completely different buyer emotion. One is curiosity and the other is relief. So till the time you're just talking about curiosity, I think there would come a time that buyers are going to ask more questions, more follow-up questions on it. Like, so what? Moving on to the second term, which is MCP, Model Context Protocol. And I know it literally sounds like an engineer would mention in a meeting specifically. So you would stop talking and you would feel intimidated. But you need to stay with me. MCP is basically a universal connector standard for AI. Think of it as a USB-C for all AI agents, which is one standard that lets all AI model plug into any tool, any database, any system without custom engineering for every integration. So it kind of just makes your world easier when you have all these AI tools and you can now easily plug in and use it. But why am I talking about all of this? We are product marketers. We should not be caring about what these terms mean. But I think why it matters to PMMs is because your buyer is going to ask, and they are going to start asking these questions, which is, does your product work with our existing stack? And in 2026, MCP compatible is starting to mean, yes, it plays well with everything. But if your product supports it, what's a trust signal? Message it. If it doesn't, then you need to actually understand why. So I'll move on to the term 3. If you are still with me here, Wow, your attention span, you really want to learn these things. So I'm glad that you're here. Yeah, which is agentic AI versus generative AI. It's a term almost every company has put their SEO blogs out there for these, but I'll just be very crisp about it, which is generative AI creates content, text, images, code, and you probably have this one down. I probably have recreated my scripts through one generative AI tool, just ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini. And agentic AI does tasks. It can take over a multi step process, update your CRM, pull a report, flag an exception, send a summary, all of this while without a human managing each step. So it's basically your assistant doing everything but without a human error. And the keyword here is autonomous because it's not waiting for you to tell what to do next. So that's the best part actually. And for positioning, this matters because it shifts your entire value prop from, AI makes your team faster to AI removes entire categories of work from your team's plate. So it's just basically offloading the workload for you. And those are very different promises. They are not, it's not like it saves XYZ number of hours. It is actually the other changes what the job is. So it's basically changing your entire job function, impacting it through and through, not just saving your hours because it's automating something. So just you need to think it from that perspective. And here are my 2 cents about the cross industry observation I want to make here. I've spent years in cybersecurity and AI product marketing, and in that world, the whole game is making invisible infrastructure feel trustworthy. Basically, you can't show buyers how the firewall works. You just have to make them feel protected. And the fastest way to do that is through your messaging, right? AI is the same thing right now. Buyers cannot see the model, they can't see the training data, they can't see the decision logic. So 94% of organization, and that's from Cisco's data, say that they won't buy from a vendor who can't clearly explain their AI data handling. And you know what? That's not an engineering problem. That's actually a biggest positioning problem. And that is squarely in our lane, right? Like in product marketers lane. So two things you can do this week. This is very specific, not be like be more strategic, but one thing is go audit your homepage for AI washing. Right now, after watching this video, open your homepage, find every place you use the word AI, and for each one, ask this question. Does the next sentence explain what the AI is doing, for whom, and what changes because of it? If the answer is no, if AI powered is just floating there with nothing under, no explanations, you gotta rewrite, my friend. And your buyers are going to audit this for you in the sales cycle. So better get there first. Add a trust paragraph to your positioning. Most AI product pages literally are skipping this entirely. They talk about what the AI does. They don't talk about how AI makes the decisions, what data it touches, or what happens when something goes wrong. You can just write one paragraph that answers those questions, that is not buried in a security page, front and center. In 2026, transparency is a competitive differentiator. And years in cybersecurity and AI has taught me that the buyer who feels protected is the buyer who will sign. And look, here's the callback to where we actually started, right? If your homepage sounds like everyone else's, it's because you're using the same words everyone is using and everyone has used: AI powered, intelligent, seamless. But you know what? The fix is not a better adjective. It's a clearer answer to what specifically your AI is doing that nobody else is doing. Nail that. The jargon takes care of itself. And I want to know, what's the AI term that's been coming up in your product and marketing meetings that nobody is explaining properly? Drop it in the comments. I'll decode the next round based on what you actually need. And also, can you please help me write a comment or two, like this video if you really liked it, got some value out of it. Subscribe if you haven't. If you want to have a one-on-one conversation with me, feel free to click on the link below and I'll be covering more important topics. If you feel if there's any article that has disturbed you or if there's anything that you want more clarity on, share it my way and I'll make the best of my effort to simplify it for you. Let's talk and discuss these in more detail.